down in Florida, Ron DeSantis just showing the model for what conservative governors and frankly what conservatives at the federal level should be doing. Ron DeSantis has just threatened to stop Chinese communists from buying real estate in the United States.
My view on our economy is in Florida is, we don't want to have holdings by hostile nations. And so if you look at the Chinese Communist Party, they've been very active throughout the Western Hemisphere in gobbling up land and investing in different things. And, when they have interests that are opposed to ours, and you see how they've wielded their authority, and especially with President Xi, who's taken a much more Marxist-Leninist turn since he's been ruling China, that is not in the best interest of Florida to have the Chinese Communist Party owning farmland, owning land close to military bases. But, my view is, and I think there's a broad agreement in those two, but my view is, okay, yeah, no farmland, but why would you want them buying residential developments or things like that? I don't want them owning subdivisions and things like that. I think that the issue is just going to be, I think people agree with that. The issue is going to be, yeah, obviously, if someone comes in and buys, it's not the CCP that's signing that. These are holding companies and all that. So you got to structure that in a way that will effectively police it. But yes, we do not need to have CCP influence in Florida's economy.
Yes. Oh, I just love it. I wish I had a sort of New Year's Eve blowhorn and an American flag to wave around listening to that clip. This is so beautiful. Ron DeSantis totally gets it here, and I really hope this policy goes into effect because it is going to, not only is it morally and politically astute and right, but it's going to irritate all the right people because the libs are going to go crazy. What do you mean you're taking away our Chinese communist influence in America? You can't do that. But it's also going to irritate the squishes. It's going to irritate the squishes because the squishes are going to say, well, yeah, sure, I don't want the Chinese communists having political control over America, but, what about the free market? What about, aren't we supposed to allow anybody to buy anything that he wants? We're not talking about the Chinese communists putting a spy into the Pentagon. No, we're just talking about them buying up some land. So now the heavy hand of the centralized government, you statists, you Ron DeSantis, you big government conservative, you're going to go in and tell people what they can buy in the free market? Yes. And they might even be able to rationalize themselves. Okay, well, maybe you can put certain limits on how we operate in the free market if we're talking about a political party or a foreign power. So, okay, maybe, I don't know if I love this because I hate tariffs and I hate all restrictions on free trade. But all right, maybe the CCP cannot buy land in America. Okay, fine, I'm willing to go there. But then Ron DeSantis points out, he says, do you think the Chinese communists are coming in, they're going up to Houlihan Lawrence real estate, and they're saying, okay, yes, where do I put Chairman Xi's signature on the dotted line? You think Xi is flying over to him, he's saying, okay, here's the CCP credit card, I want to buy this on behalf of the Communist Party. No, of course not. The way that the Chinese are buying land in America and amassing even more political power than they already have is through intermediaries, through holding companies, through individuals who are connected to the Communist Party. And so DeSantis is saying, if we're actually going to do anything about this, we got to put it into effect in a way that will be practical. And he points out, actually later in those comments, he says, we've already done this at the universities. We've gone after the Confucius Institutes. Confucius Institutes they're not the Chinese Communist Party club. They have a facade of being purely academic or purely cultural or not related. But what DeSantis and other GOP politicians, Ted Cruz in particular, have pointed out is, no, they're just fronts for the Communist Party. They should be banned from the universities. Let's go, baby. Wield the heavy hand of the state to protect our national security interests, but just to protect our country. If we're living in a country right now, and depending on where you live in the United States, you might be seeing this directly. If we're living in a country where a hostile foreign power is coming in and buying up a lot of real estate, that doesn't only present a national security interest, that presents economic hardship and an upending of the political order. Simply by the fact that they're driving up real estate prices. You got a ton of money coming out of China, coming into the United States from the party that is driving up your rent, driving up your mortgage. You see DeSantis there, he's saying, yeah, of course, with the farmland, that presents an immediate security threat. But he says, why do we want the Chinese communists buying residential property either? It's a reminder, and DeSantis gets this, and he's not the only Republican to get this, but he has articulated it in a really powerful way, in a really clear way. He understands that the economy is for the nation. The nation is not for the economy. Free market principles, open trade, those can be good things, but they are a means to an end, and the end is a good country and a flourishing society. And when we put the cart before the horse, then things get a little bit wonky. Ron DeSantis is not a Stalinist, okay? He's not some heavy-handed, big authoritarian government. He's a normal politician who recognizes that we live in a republic, and republic comes from res publica, it means public things, and he understands that his job is to govern for the common good of all. That's why states are instituted. And that doesn't mean confiscating property and turning us all into commies. Quite the opposite. He's saying we need to reduce the power of the communists. And the way to do that is to wield just political power that the people have given us through our form of government. Really, really great stuff. I hope that other conservatives take note. The libs have dispirited us for so long. They've made us think, well, you guys can never wield political power. Well, DeSantis is showing we can. Other GOP politicians are too. But DeSantis is doing it in a really, really clear way. My producer, Ben Davies, has a story every week that he's upset that I don't get to. And so I've got the story here facing upside down. I will flip it over and read the story for the first time. You got to go to the member block to do that, okay? That is dailywire.com/Knowles. Use code Knowles at checkout. You will get 2 months free on all annual plans. See you at the member block.